Baby souls. I came across some baby souls in the massage parlour the other day. So these were people who, this isn't a criticism. I just use what I observe as a way of offering. I don't even know what to call it. Like, I feel like using the word teaching is going to trigger people. A vibration and offering. It's for you to take or leave. It doesn't matter to me. So, two people in the massage parlour the other day. So this massage parlour is gorgeous, and the women do a pretty good job of keeping it quiet. So obviously for me, it's not really a massage, it's a bodywork session, it's an embodiment session. I always go for Thai or Shiatsu massages, which really help me get into the body, out of the mind. And don't get me wrong, I struggle. When I book an hour and a half massage, the last half hour I'm like, is this nearly over yet? Can I go and have my coffee and my cigarette and get back into the doing so I don't have to feel myself? I'm aware of that. Anyway, so these two came in. So I'm about half an hour into my massage, and they're just yapping. They've just got no awareness at all. No awareness of the space they're in, no awareness of others, no awareness of what people are there to do, most people are there to do. They're clearly like just ticking off the tourist box. So we'll get our, South American cultural massage, then we'll go to the temple, then we'll go to the water park. They're hitting up the tourist shit, that's what they're doing. So the masseuse, she does the best she can, quiet please, with her beautiful feminine energy. Like, she's not, I wouldn't expect her to be forceful. She's, she's a beautiful feminine masseuse. And they kind of register it, but you can tell they don't even get why she's asking them to be quiet. Anyway, so they're quieting down a little bit, but they're still, it's a couple. They're talking to each other. They're obviously next to each other. Probably, I imagine, with a curtain between them, because all the rooms are curtained off. And they're talking to each other between the curtain. Anyway, she tells them to be quiet, and for 30 seconds they go quiet to the point where I'm like, okay. I mean, I was literally about to, tell them to shut the fuck up, and I mean literally tell them to shut the fuck up with those exact words. And anyway, so they quiet down to a point where I'm like, okay, are they about to get it? Do I not need to do this? Anyway, then the masseuse tells them to get naked. Obviously completely standard. They're about to have an oil massage. Oh, they just can't handle it. They just cannot handle it. So they go into what a lot of people do when they feel awkward, and rather than feel, they go into laughter. They start laughing. Oh, naked. Oh. Yeah, bitch. Like, you're about to have an oil massage. Of course you're going to get fucking naked. Oh, man. So I was pretty much snapping at that point. And then we go back into conversation. So I just boomed across with a very masculine, authoritative voice. I'll try and do the best now, but I'm not triggered now, so I don't know if I can do it. Can you shut the fuck up, please? Yeah, that's exactly how I said it. That tone, everything. And they were, I imagine they were fairly mortified by that and shocked, because people like that, obviously they're in total fear. They're completely in the external. They're completely influenced by what's around them, by others. By the news, they've just got no knowing, which is actually, they've got no clearance within to allow consciousness in, but, we could call it knowing. They've got no sense of self, they're getting embarrassed about getting naked in a massage place, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, then, so after that, they shut the fuck up. My masseuse was pretty shocked. And so they shut the fuck up. Anyway, but then they're getting a massage, and obviously they can't deal with the intimacy. They can't deal with, the only way they can deal with that sort of connection. Oh, I've missed a bit out. I'll go over that in a minute. With that sort of connection is by laughter. So obviously, like, whenever I assume, like, she touches an intimate area or something like that, like, they start laughing. Because they can't just surrender to it, because they've never experienced intimacy. So, the woman came in first, and when she was asked to get naked, she started this laughter thing, and then she said, okay, but before my husband comes in. And they weren't Muslim or anything like that. Like, they were clearly, they were German. I could tell they were German, because they were speaking German. Well done, Tom. So, just amazing. So, like, what is there intimate relationship like? You know, she's embarrassed about being naked in front of her husband. So I imagine they're like, lights off, missionary, no eye contact, friction. Let's just get some friction, but not connect on any sort of soul level because we don't even know if that exists. You know, this is how they'll be shagging. So yeah, so the idea of intimacy for them and the idea of being exposed in front of another, like, and by exposed I just mean naked in front of a masseuse, but to them that's exposing. Just amazing. And then you can go on from there, like, to the avoidance of silence. Like, these people, they cannot meet themselves, or they don't know how to meet themselves, and meeting themselves is just the scariest thing ever because they've never done it. You know, and I was this person, don't get me wrong, like, I was this person 15 years ago. Like, this is why I know it so well, because I've been it, you know. I'm not criticizing it, I'm not judging it, I'm just using it as a way to bring awareness to the situation. That's better than teaching. Bring awareness to the situation. That's a much better way that won't trigger people as much. Well done, Tom. That's what we'll use moving forward. So I am trying to soften my message. I am trying to make my message accessible. You know, I don't want to trigger people. I don't mind triggering people. Because the truth is always, you know, the focus. And truth isn't even the right word. Just the offering. The offering is always the focus. But, and people will inevitably get triggered in that, and I'm fine with that. But it's not my intention. I don't come on here to trigger people. Quite the opposite, you know. I really want this to resonate with people. I want people to, I want people to heal. I want people to become embodied. I'm actually loving life. I'm absolutely loving life. But also, I acknowledge it would be a lot better if there were loads of conscious beings everywhere. Like, that would be fantastic. That would make my life way better. You know, actually connecting with people. I have recently met just the most incredible man out here. He's just such a godsend, such a blessing. Like, just on such a high vibrational level. Teaching me so much, just so much. Being in his presence, I mean, it puts me to sleep. Like, his vibration is so high that to even try and meet him, and I can't meet him, but like to even go anywhere near his energy field, like, oh my God, I have to go and lie down. For the first time, I as we were talking, I had to lie down. And then I had to go and sleep for 3 hours. And then the second time, like 2 hours. And then last time, I don't think I did have a nap afterwards. Yeah, last time was it's amazing. Like, I mean, he is just, along with what I've been through recently and the levels I've had to go to in myself, and trust and surrender and allowing is the new word that he's taught me. It was like, it's so funny because he was sounding me out. So we saw each other the day before or 2 days before. I actually recorded him for English Refugee, and I was like, is that Julian Assange? He looks a lot like Julian Assange. And I could feel, like, you know, I noticed them. Anyway, and it turns out they noticed me as well. You know, consciousness notices consciousness. Anyway, so then 2 days later, he comes into the same cafe and he sits down next to me. And, you know, which, you know, it's just the two best tables next. So that was, you know, a normie would have done that as well. And then he starts chatting to me about my tobacco. And I can't remember how, I mean, obviously he would have directed the conversation, like, because he sensed that I was maybe worth talking to, as in, you know, conscious. Because this guy, you know, like, the type of conversations we're having, he's saying he's only had those with 3 people in the last, he didn't put a time scale on it, but I got the impression, like, 6 months to 5 years, something like that. And I've gone on a complete tangent here, but anyway. Anyway, so he starts talking about tobacco. We got on spirituality, and he's like, what's spirituality for you? So I basically talk about surrendering, and anyway, so then we get into it, and he just blows my fucking mind, and he goes, the whole point of that tangent was to tell you that he goes, surrendering is good, very good is Dutch. Next is allowing. So that's where that little one came from. Anyway, I'll try and get back to the baby souls and the offering. So yeah, I suppose the message is this, that if you find yourself avoiding silence, avoiding intimacy, avoiding awkward moments, then you're avoiding yourself. You know, it really is that simple. Silence is everything. Like, stillness and silence is everything. And I don't meditate. You know, I struggle with this. You know, this is a teaching for me as well. You know, I can only offer, not teach. I can only offer from the place I'm at. You know, this isn't me being like, ooh, I'm better. No, not at all. This is me offering my latest inner standing. That's going to trigger people. Understanding, if you want, but inner standing on life. You know, that's all I'm doing. And I appreciate I haven't mastered how to offer it before. I appreciate I've done it condescendingly. Because I've been triggered. You know, I had to go through COVID and watch all that bullshit. Watch people use masks and stab stuff in their arm when I was like giving them all the facts, you know. It was a really tough time. And it's therefore really tough not to project onto these people and call them plebs and stuff like that. But I feel like that phase is coming to an end now. And, you know, I'm really here just to offer. You know, it's just an offering. And it's, you know, it's for me as well. Anyway, next, fuck me. So so this was the other thing. So they finally realised that they were meant to shut up. I mean, I don't think they'd have known why, but they were just like, oh, I don't want him shouting at me again. And then the masseuse would... So the masseuse asks, every time they're trained to ask you once, because I've been going to this parlour like, every day for 2 weeks now, so, you know, I know how they work. And they're obviously trained after 5 minutes to go, excuse me, is the massage okay? As in, am I going too hard? Do you want it softer? Yada, yada, yada. And that's all they do, just ask you once and you confirm it. But these guys, man, like the masseuse was constantly being like, are you okay? Are you okay? Because they were obviously just freaking out. And, you know, every time, you know, they didn't, and the masseuse like whispers it, and they come back with like, yeah, I'm alright, you know, just no idea, like, why are you talking at that decibel level? Like when everything around you is about silence and peace, everything around you is offering that to you and calling you into that. But, you know, similarly, you know, I was the same. I went to it was about my 4th ayahuasca ceremony where I realised what an effect I had on the whole ceremony. Not a good one. In terms of stomping on the floor, in terms of being noisy, over-exaggerating the getting well, what people call being sick, but it's actually getting well, you're releasing energy. And it dropped in for me when I stomped across the floor, and I kind of noticed that people were like, I didn't really notice, that only dropped in after what I'm about to tell you. I then went to the toilet, probably for the 3rd, 4th time, and I went to just slam the door closed. So this is like at the edge of the ceremony, like this beautiful ceremony space where they're singing, is it Icarus? I'm sure you call them Icarus. You know, beautiful ayahuasca music. And, you know, I was stomping, and I mean stomping, like this has been a big thing for me, realising like how much I stomp, and because I used to walk in the future, I used to walk with my head forward, stomping in the future. And now I'm much slower, and I'm aware of my feet, and actually, like, you know, I used to see, you know, I just had no patience basically. So I used to see slowness as like, why would you be slower? Like, gotta get this done. You know, I was completely in my mind. Whereas now I'm the opposite. It's like this constant, like, can I slow down more? Can I slow down more? Can I be more present? Anyway, so I go to slam this door, and obviously I've done this 2, 3, 4 times before, and the whole ceremony has gone. Ugh. So one of the staff members, the support workers, as I went to slam, might be a bit of an exaggeration, but to close it without any consciousness of the space, certainly, he grabbed it on the other side, and I was like, you know, just in shock. And then I saw, from the other side, I saw him twist the handle with total awareness, so that, you know, the clippy bit goes in, and like very slowly shut it, and then not let it just bounce back, like not even let the clip noise happen, like just, and that's when it all dropped in for me. In that second, I was just like, oh shit. You know, I've just been shitting all over this space. And that was the start for me of noticing that I was avoiding silence in every possible way, even in the way I walked. Even in the way I walked, I was avoiding silence in every possible way I could. So, you know, these people are there where I was, you know, so I'm really not judging. I'm just observing and using my experience in this area, just because I've been aware of this for a long time, doing this work for a long time. But, you know, I've been all of these things. And then, oh my God, as if it weren't fucking annoying enough, I just don't understand why anyone would have keypad noises on their phone. You know, when you text and it's like why would anyone do that? Like, when I got a new phone recently, like, switch it off straight away. Like, I mean, I don't even understand why people have a phone on ring. Like, I mean, for me, it's just vile. Like, why would you want your phone to ring? Like, really, for me, I just want my phone on silent. And if I happen to see your message, great. But I mean, currently I have it on vibrate just because I haven't bothered to change it to silent. But yeah, I think I'm working with a web designer at the moment who is a subscriber, a Patreon member, you know, a supporter, a fan. What's your fucking problem? Where's your fucking problem? Come on. Come on. You don't need to be so nasty. Ah, you forgot. You know, really manic man, and he just messages me non-stop. And I've told him so many times, I put so many boundaries in, you know, I banned calls with him. The first call I had with him was just awful, like you know, just this manic man going off in so many tangents. And I've given him these reflections, and he's doing really well with them. He's doing shadow work with me now. He's going to join the men's group. You know, I'm amazed that somebody who is of such low consciousness with so much manic behaviour is not getting triggered by me and sticking with it. But his ego is desperate to outdo me. Like he keeps trying to like tell me things, and you know. So if he just told me about websites and what he does know way more about, I'd be like, you know, he tries to be conscious, and he's just not. But anyway, the point of the story is, he's texting me all the fucking time now because he's obsessed, you know, and he's not really obsessed with me. He's obsessed with escaping himself. So any sort of connection he can get is all over it, you know, because it means he doesn't have to feel himself. So basically, the whole point of that was to tell you that my phone is going all the fucking time now, which it never used to. So I do need to move it to silent. So that's why I've had it in vibrate, because I wasn't getting any text messages off anyone really, like the odd one from someone in the men's group, but that was about it. But suddenly I'm getting like, oh god, at least 20 text messages a day, which is just vile. The last thing I want. Anyway, what's my point? Yes, so these people are so desperate to be in noise and not feel themselves and like have anything that will take them into the external, that it's like they want every time they press a letter to hear the click. I mean, it just drives me insane. So she's finished the massage. I'm like, thank fuck for that. They only booked in for an hour and I had an hour and a half. So that's why I experienced the start of their massage and the finish. I'm like, thank fuck for that. The last 15... Don't fucking start. The last 15 minutes of my massage is at least going to be silent, and then she stays in there fucking texting. Click, 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 click. Just vile. But it's not bad. It's just a baby consciousness, you know. It's just a baby consciousness, and it's all me playing out. It's all consciousness playing out. You know, we are all one. So it's, you know, it's really frustrating. Because we're all so human, you know, it's all real, it's all a paradox, you know, it's all a spectrum. It is oneness, it is consciousness experiencing itself, but you know, the human journey feels very real, so, you know, ooh, sorry mate, I didn't mean to kill you. I just killed an ant. It's a fighter ant, and it was coming towards me, so I just tried to whack, like, you know, like, I didn't want to kill it basically, but I did. And maybe, yeah, I should probably kill it now, so it's just in agony. Oh dear. I hate killing things, except mosquitoes. They can all fucking die. Alright, is that the end of the offering? I think that's the end of the offering. So yeah, it's just an encouragement to lean into silence as much as possible, because it's there that you'll feel yourself. It's there that the emotions will come up. You know, this is why we're all so busy all the time. You know, what people call addictions are actually coping mechanisms. But this is why, you know, you'll watch the TV, you'll drink the beer, smoke the spliff, wank the dick, have the sex, have the work addiction, work way more than you actually need to, you know. This is why we do it. This is because we're so repressed, you know, and we don't know how to feel ourselves with so many trapped emotions within us, traumas, and everyone's just avoiding them. Not everyone. The masses are just avoiding them. So yeah, the reason I offer these offerings is because essentially I want to go back home, and we're all consciousness playing itself out. So until all these different shards of consciousness, including this tree and that ant, not so much anymore, but, you know, literally everything, a rock, until they become conscious of self and then of oneness, We're just going to keep playing this bullshit out, man. So yeah, that's why I do it. That's why I do it. And because there's just nothing else. Like, there's nothing else in this world. Like, what else would I do? Like, play computer games? You know, this is already a computer game. What's the fucking point? So yeah, once you've detached from any sort of mainstream football, computer games, and you've done a lot of work, and you become aware of these concepts I'm speaking of, there isn't really anything else but to pass it on to others. You know, it's a great service, and I know people get triggered by it and assume, you know, because they can't process it and they don't want to feel, and they don't, you know, it's not even conscious. Like, they don't go through this, I don't want to feel. They just go into the projection. They just go into the defense, you know, the block, the resistance. Yeah, and that's where all this, like, you're doing this for money, you're bullshitting to make money. This channel makes no money. I mean, it's going to start making money for sure, because, you know, I just know it is. The shifts I'm going through make it inevitable. But, you know, so far, I don't think I've earned more than $100 off this channel. Like, it's not. No. But yeah, it's all coming. It's all coming. So there is an element of that, of course. But actually, it's just like, what the fuck do I do with my day? Like, you know, I've got to do something. I go to a gym and I have a massage every day and I eat food. That's it. So YouTube gives me some sort of purpose, and it gives me a distraction. It's my distraction. It's what I've just criticised, even though it's not really a criticism, but people see it as that. It's my version of what they're doing. It's my version of their laughter, of their keypad clicks, of their repression and lack of intimacy. You know, this is my version of that. Fucking doing this. It's all avoidance. Everything's avoidance. Unless you are just fucking sat in, not necessarily in a cave, but unless you are just sat like this, you're avoiding yourself. And I never do that. I fucking hate that shit. I'd much rather drink coffee and smoke cigarettes. I still drink 8 coffees a day and smoke 10 cigarettes a day. You know, like I've got my avoidance. It's not my shit. My avoidance. You know, we're all avoiding. That's what's happening here. Big love. Take good risks.